Good evening. You are tuning in to AWANI tonight with me, Saraya Mia. No Undi 18 implementation for Sarawak polls, says Law Minister. And Ipsos report reveals youths among the most hesitant towards COVID vaccines. That's coming up. Undi 18 and automatic voter registration will not be implemented in the upcoming Sarawak state elections. De facto Law Minister Datuk Seri Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar said although amendments were gazetted, Sarawak polls will only involve registered voters updated in the electoral roll on November 2nd. He said the list was endorsed before the dissolution of the 11th Sarawak State Legislative Assembly on November 3rd in accordance with the law. Today, the Election Commission announced lowering of the voting age to 18 years and automatic voter registration gazetted on December 1st. Nomination day for Sarawak polls is set on December 6th, early voting on December 14th, and polling day on December 18th. Former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak has asked the Court of Appeal to allow new evidence to be included in the appeal against his conviction for misappropriating 42 million ringgit from SRC International Sdn Bhd. His application was filed just days before the court was scheduled to decide his appeal next Wednesday. Najib is applying for the Court of Appeal to allow and to direct for viva voce evidence or oral evidence to be taken from the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Chief Datuk Seri Azam Baki. Najib is also applying for further oral evidence to be taken from MACC Investigating Officer Rosli Husin. Among other things, the Pekan MP explained he wants the court to consider including further evidence before deciding on his appeal following the revelation by MACC that Singapore had repatriated to Malaysia $15.4 million in 1MDB-linked funds that involved a company co-owned by Taufik Aiman, the husband of former Bank Negara Governor Tan Sri Zeti Akhtar Aziz.
So this is the beginning of what I say is relevant to his defense, because if he had known about this, Zeti would have been a very critical witness for the prosecution to call, and so that we can cross-examine. At least the court or us should call Tan Sri Zeti, and we could cross-examine her on her role and why was she involved with Jolo and why she did not declare her involvement with Jolo or her family involvement with Jolo.
Shafi explained that the defense team was not aware that Zeti was under investigation when asked why the defense did not accept the prosecution's offer for Zeti to take the stand during the graft trial. The Court of Appeal has fixed December 8 to deliver its decision on Najib's appeal to quash the High Court's guilty verdict, as well as the 12-year jail term and 210 million ringgit fine in the SRC corruption case. A total of 139 people at Sekolah Sri Puteri Cyberjaya have tested positive for COVID-19. Selangor Health Director Dr. Syahri Ngadiman said all those who had tested positive are in stable condition in categories 1 and 2, which are symptomatic but considered low risk. Of the 139 positive cases, 114 involve students, 15 teachers, and 10 school staff. This is following a screening of 946 people at the school as at 3 p.m. today. In a statement, Dr. Syahri said the index case for the cluster was a teacher who was found to be asymptomatic on November 22nd and subsequently tested positive on November 24th. All the positive cases will be sent to MIAP's low-risk quarantine and treatment center, while close contacts will be placed at government quarantine stations. A recent study by Ipsos revealed that 50% of youths aged 18 to 30 are hesitant to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Sunway University's Professor Mahindran Nair tells us why it is crucial to counter negative perceptions towards vaccines among the youths.
One of the things that we, from our previous study, we see is that the small group that is quite the group that is hesitant is, as you see, the youth. Almost 50%, are, if you see in terms of, they had positive attitude towards the vaccines, and about 45.6% were neutral. But we had 4.4% had a different perspective, they had a negative perspective. And I think although this is a small group, we see that this group is also the risk takers. Right? They are the ones that go out and and so on. So which is something that needs to be addressed. But again, I think there is a lot of from our own study, we see that the prediction of somebody taking on is dependent on the severity, perceived severity, and given the fact that they're not sure the side effects, so some of them are a little bit concerned about this, and also the susceptibility. So a number of factors. These are some of the factors that influence them.
He also underscored the importance of youth in the overall vaccination campaign as they play a key role in driving social influence.
So I think here, this is where education is really important, educating whoever that is using this social media or digital media, any media, to be very critical in the kind of information that you get. It's not to believe everything. We know that there is good information and there's misinformation. And we need to be educated on accessing the right information. And this is where I think, how do we, educate them that not to be influenced by, all the information that is coming in, but do a little bit of due diligence. And I think this requires a fair bit of education. In anything that we do, I think we need to, emphasize that. Look at the scientific evidence. Talk to the experts. Don't consult. Always get second opinion, on this and that. And I think this is what a knowledge culture is, building a knowledge culture, a mindset that is, check the information. Is the information compatible with the known information? And if you see, credible, this is where I think, the agencies and the experts need to come out and give information, correct information.
Time for a quick break. Stay tuned.
Amanah di tangan kita. Adat, budaya dan semangat menjadi kesinambungan perpaduan tanah air yang tercinta. Berteraskan adab yang terpahat di jiwa dan raga. Marilah bersama kita membina negara Malaysia.
Untuk memastikan Malaysia ada ke depan
dan maju. Induknya adalah Melayu.
Balik kepada Islam. Orang yang membuat polisi.
Kalau itu yang dikehendaki, fine. Mungkin kita berbeza pandangan.
Tapi kita mempunyai kuasa yang boleh menentukan budaya di masa hadapan.
Polisi yang mesra wanita, sudah tentu dia akan datang daripada pemimpin wanita.
Asrama Mahat Tahfiz AWANI.
Bila sentuh soal berita, tiada masa untuk tunggu. Kepada anda kami bawakan fakta, susulan dan kupasan yang terkini. Tiada drama dan tiada pengulangan. Usah tunggu lama-lama. AWANI 745 lebih awal dari biasa.
Welcome back. More countries are reporting detection of COVID-19 cases involving the Omicron variant. Singapore said 2 passengers who arrived in the country from South Africa have tested preliminarily positive for the new variant of concern. Its health ministry said both cases were isolated upon arrival in Singapore on December 1st and had not been interacted in the community.
Indonesia said it will tighten travel curbs by extending the mandatory quarantine for arrival from 7 days to 10. Its Transport Ministry also announced new domestic travel measures, which includes limiting the volume of traffic on toll roads to reduce people movement. More than 50 countries have imposed new travel measures in recent days over Omicron fears. South Korea is also taking similar measures. All travellers, including citizens and foreigners, will have to quarantine for 10 days on arrival, regardless of their vaccination status. All overseas travellers coming into South Korea will also be tested for the Omicron variant. Japan, meanwhile, has retracted a blanket ban on incoming flight bookings following heavy criticism. In a surprise move on Wednesday, the Transport Ministry abruptly said it will ask airlines to stop taking new incoming flights reservations for a month. Under the measure, Japanese citizens and foreign residents would not have been able to return until next year unless they already had reservations.
Chinese Foreign Ministry and its state-affiliated media have hit back at the Women's Tennis Association for bringing politics into sports. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin said China rejects the politicizing of sports following WTA's decision to suspend tournaments in China immediately due to concerns over player Peng Shuai. In a statement tweeted by the Global Times, it accused WTA for its influence in a speculative way, bringing politics into women's tennis deeply and setting a bad example for the entire sporting world. Peng posted a message on social media in early November, alleging that China's former Vice Premier Zhang Gaoli had sexually assaulted her. Peng's whereabouts became a matter of international concern following a nearly 3-week public absence following the allegation. In other news, ride-hailing and food delivery firm Grab listed on Nasdaq today following its $40 billion merger with a special purpose acquisition company. The deal is the world's biggest U.S. listing by Southeast Asian company and also the largest ever by a blank check company.
In April, Grab agreed to merge with U.S. tech investor Altimeter Capital Management's special purpose acquisition company and raise $4.5 billion, including $750 million from Altimeter. Founded in 2012, Grab launched as a taxi hailing service in Malaysia. The Singapore-based company now operates across 465 cities in 8 countries, offering food deliveries, payments, insurance and investment products. Grab is valued at just over $16 billion last year.
With the Parliamentary Select Committee on Foreign Affairs duly constituted, what role should it play in future policy making? Tonight on Consider This, we speak to our guests on the PSC and diplomacy. That is all we have for you on AWANI tonight. Get the latest news updates on COVID-19 and COVID-19 vaccines from astroawani.com and the Astro AWANI app. I'm Saraya Mia. We'll see you again soon.